5, 6, 7, 8.
Taylor's version. Yay.
Taylor Swift.
Exactly. Just in case they didn't know. All right, here we go. Hi, everybody. Welcome back to Gilmore to Say with Tara and Haley. I'm Tara. This is Haley. Hi, Haley.
Hi, Tara.
You are clad in your Taylor Swift shirt. You are ready to go. It is so cute.
Thank you. I almost wore my 1989 sweatshirt because I had 1989 nails, but I got them done yesterday. And it's kind of like a maroon color, and it matches the Taylor Swift on my sweatshirt if you're watching on YouTube. So I decided to go with this one instead.
I really, really like them. I was going to wear something Taylor Swift-esque, but I realized I don't have anything.
Oh,
I don't have a t-shirt. I don't have a sweatshirt. I don't have anything.
Really?
So I just wear this white sweater.
Oh, I should have mailed you something.
I know. I was like, Haley is swimming in stuff.
That's literally half my wardrobe.
I know.
Whole Taylor Swift drawer.
I know. She's got it. But if you couldn't tell already, our episode today is going to be about Taylor Swift. Well, really, it's going to be about 1989 Taylor's version, which just came out. It's one of my favorite albums.
Which I love.
So happy that she got to release her own version of it. The vault songs are very fun.
So good.
And I have to be real with you. When I listened to this album, like in its first iteration 10 years ago when it came out, I really only listened to like the original album, not the deluxe album. So like Wonderland and all of those songs are super new to me.
And New Romantics.
New Romantics. I mean, I've heard the song, but like I didn't realize that it came off of 1989 until like I was listening to this and I was like, oh, that's on this album?
Yeah.
Right over my head. Like literally it ended with Clean and that was it.
Yeah, no, because there's like a deluxe edition for the original one, but then there's like more vault tracks. Yeah. And like the deluxe ones just got looped in with the original. Mm-hmm. Very good though. This is not in my top 3, but it's like also like some of the best songs on there.
The album itself is not in the top 3.
No.
What are your top 3 albums?
Reputation, Folklore, and Midnights. Not in that order, but like those are my top 3. With Debut there, nostalgically, as an honorable mention, or self-titled as Taylor calls it. But yeah, this one has like a lot of good songs that I would put in my like top 20, I would say.
Yeah, no, a lot of great songs. It started bringing me back, like listening to it. I mean, I had listened to it when it came out a couple of weeks ago and I really liked it. It definitely took me a minute to get used to the new recording because if you know the albums really well,
you can hear it.
You can hear how different they are. I mean, they sound so similar. Like, kudos to her for like 10 years later still sounding exactly the same. How do you do it? But,
I know. Like, when I'm at the grocery store and they play the song, I'll turn to my mom. I'm like, it's not Taylor's version. She's like, how can you tell?
No, when you know them very well, you can tell.
I know.
You can totally tell. But it's going to take a little bit of time for me to get used to that.
Yeah.
But I love it. It took me back to like the time I used to, I think I've shared this a lot on pod, that I used to walk to this song like to work. I used to take the one train down to Columbus Circle and I worked on 59th and Madison, where I actually just was yesterday getting cupcakes for Brett because it was his birthday.
Yeah.
And I used to do the walk from Columbus Circle all the way across town. And I'd listen to this album on my way to work. And I just could feel it, like, all coming back to me Celine Dion style. Like, the nostalgia just comes rushing back when you affiliate. I think a lot of us affiliate music with just times in our lives and a chapter, an era, if you will. And this was totally an era in my life. It was like baby Tara, fresh, like on the scene to New York City. My first year or two in New York was like, this was the album that narrated that. This was the soundtrack to my first 2 years in New York.
Can dance to this beat. Yeah. Lights are so bright, but they never blind me.
They never blind me, baby.
But that's what I was talking about with my therapist. Is like, I was like, I don't know if you know this, but I'm a really big Taylor Swift fan. And she was like, I've gathered.
What?
She was like, continue. But I was talking about how, like, I love the, like, re-releases of the albums because it feels like a time capsule. It feels like you can go back to, like, the exact emotions that you felt when you were experiencing it for the first time. And, like, I feel that for, like, every single one of them, which is why I'm most excited for her to re-record Debut, because I got that CD for my 15th birthday.
Oh, yeah.
which when this episode records, my birthday was on Sunday.
I was going to say, happy birthday, baby. I should have started with that. Oh my God. It's a very exciting time. It's your birthday episode, which is why
it's my birthday episode.
Taylor
it's all
Swift.
about me.
Yes.
So it's all about Taylor Swift, of course.
Of course.
And of course, Gilmore Girls in a second. But Tara's birthday is this Sunday? Saturday. And so her birthday episode will be next week.
Our birthdays actually bookend the week. So Haley's birthday is on Sunday. Mine is on Saturday, which I love.
It's just a birthday week on the pod.
Gilmore Girlies week. I love it.
Yeah. But no, I got her first CD for my 15th birthday. So it just feels like I can't wait to go back to that and listen to that. But even as I listen to these vault tracks, I listen to them like from the perspective of the person who like was driving around her college town listening to 1989, the original one.
Totally.
And I was like, oh, you would have loved this one. Like, I wish you would have had it, but like maybe best that you didn't. Maybe it's best that I keep that one.
Yeah, totally. I mean, those additional tracks that were on the deluxe version, like I wish I had known about those. That was really on me when they came out, but like listening to them today, I was just like, oh, love them.
Yeah, because I just feel like you're like such a Wonderland New Romantics person. Yeah. So I feel like that would vibe for you. But admittedly, since 1989 came out, I haven't listened to much of the original. I've only listened to the vault tracks because I'm in love, obsessed.
You love them. And it's so funny because when this album first released a couple weeks ago, you weren't sure about the vault tracks.
I was not sure. But you know why? Because I had taken my nighttime medicines.
Okay.
My little nights. Yeah. A little nighttime medicine that I take and it makes me kind of sleepy. And then I pressed play at midnight and I was listening to them and I was like, I don't know about these. I don't think I understand them. I don't think I know these words.
And that was the medicine talking.
Yeah. And then I like took a second, went back, and I was like, oh, actually, I adore these so much and I love them.
Yeah.
Like,
they're
these are my
good
favorite songs.
And they feel like they fit really nicely into the album as a whole.
Yeah. Oh, yes. And like so many of them feel like sister songs to like songs that are on the album. Of, like,
totally.
Either or.
They totally are. Like there were beats and just like melodies, rhythms that felt very much like songs that are already on the album.
And I know that you're not like a big like follower of the Eras tour, but one of the surprise songs, she did a mashup of Is It Over Now and Out of the Woods as one of the surprise songs. Oh, fucking amazing.
That's very cool.
Good.
Wow.
Yes. Loved it.
That's so cool for those people who were there.
I know. Argentina got everything.
Argentina got a lot. Travis Kelce and then some.
I know. Oh gosh. So wished I was in Argentina that day. But anyways, but I will say, and speaking of today's episode, when I first started listening to the songs, I was like, these don't relate to Gilmore Girls in any way possible. And I think that I was like so like caught up in the songs and like listening to it, like I said, like I was talking about with my therapist, like as it related to my life. Then as I started listening, because people started sending me edits and I was like, that's not them. That's not the two of them. Why would you think that? And then as I started listening more, I was like, oh, okay. Yes, I see it. I get it.
Yeah, I can totally hear how some of them are very related. I will say there were a couple in here that I was like, no idea. Couldn't tell you. Don't think they relate.
There's one that I was like, no, absolutely not.
No.
But we asked our followers on Instagram and I went through some of those because like I have mine that I definitively think. I have one where I'm like, I don't think any of them, but then some of our listeners had like some of our besties gave a little song and gave a little matchup and I was like, I don't know, but I'm going to share it because you guys said it.
No, I'm glad that you are. I'm glad you looked at them because I did not.
Yeah.
In an effort to not like sway my decision. Yeah, I feel like you're not as easily swayed because you know these songs inside and out. Whereas for me, like I could literally be swayed just with a little
yeah.
Someone could literally blow on me and I'd be like, yeah, I'm over here now.
There was only one that I was like, oh, okay, I want to share that one because I also feel that way and hadn't thought about it. My favorite was one of our besties literally took a screenshot of a notes app and submitted that and like had all of the songs, like all of the 1989 tracks plus vault songs and their matchups. And I was like, thank you so much.
I love that for you.
You understood the assignment. Some people didn't understand the assignment, which I can't be mad about because you were just enthusiastic and excited and I would never be mad about that. But some people were like, Champagne Problems is Rory and Logan. I was like,
no.
Evermore. But
different album, but thank you so much for your enthusiasm.
What was the other one? Someone said Rory and Jess were The Way I Loved You from Fearless. And I was like, again, I love the excitement, the enthusiasm, but it's the wrong album.
Wrong album. Well, speaking of the assignment, what today's episode is going to be is us going through 1989 Taylor's version, which includes the new Vault tracks that came out a few weeks ago, and matching them up to characters in the show or, you know, relationships, episodes, situations. And we're going to see how many of ours align. I'm very excited.
Yeah, I'm excited. And can I be honest? It really, people have been asking for another Taylor episode, but I really had to work up to it because a lot of people last year, after our Taylor Swift episode, made me feel really self-conscious about talking about Taylor on the podcast. And I told you knew about this, but like some people sent me some really mean messages about talking about Taylor Swift and how like I'm one of the reasons that they hate Taylor or Swifties. I was just like, why would you go out of your way to tell me that? And
that speaks to their character.
I know, but it made me stop making like Taylor Swift references on the podcast for a little while.
I know.
And I just like made me stop and I was like, no, there are so many people who love it.
That's the thing, is when you think about the amount of people who maybe don't like it, it's outweighed by the amount of people who get really excited by it. I understand that there are going to be people out there who don't like it, and that's totally fine.
That's totally fine.
And there were people who actually, upon seeing the post that we posted yesterday, it was yesterday, right?
Yeah.
On our stories, messaged us and they were like, I don't want to see this. I don't want to listen to this. And what's really, really amazing about podcasts and TV shows and movies and music is if you don't want to, you don't have to. You can just skip it. It's a beautiful thing that I don't know if anybody's told you about, but I'm here to tell you. You don't have to listen to this episode. And it's a beautiful thing. So look, I understand not everybody's going to love every episode that we put out, every mashup that we do of something, but that's okay. It is your right to skip.
You just press skip. And you just listen next week.
And we'll see you next week.
Yeah. And I think that's the thing. I think the thing that I don't understand sometimes though is like, this is a Gilmore Girls podcast. You are here because you love this thing so much. Why do you not understand when other people love things so much?
Well, it's a little close-minded in my opinion, but I do understand. Listen, I understand that people are like, well, I want to hear you talk about Gilmore Girls. That's fine.
That's what we're here to do.
But sometimes we're going to talk about stuff that can kind of like intermingle in the Gilmore world, and we're excited about it. And
it's more if this is just a different way to talk about Gilmore Girls. It's a different access point.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, there are going to be people who don't like that, and I totally respect that. But also at the same time, you can respect that we're still going to do it.
Yeah.
And then we'll see you next week.
And admittedly, that wasn't everyone. A lot of people were like, I never listened to Taylor Swift. And then you did that one because you related it to my favorite characters. And now I love that song and I love Taylor Swift. So like those people, very thrilled. So maybe we'll do that for you today. Or maybe you're already a huge fan of Taylor Swift and you are going to be excited, or you are going to want to fight us on our decisions.
Hey, maybe they might. I don't know. We'll see.
I actually think we're going to have some of the same, or like I have an idea of maybe what you decided.
Okay.
But I didn't pick that one.
Okay.
But we'll see how we line up.
All right,
I'm really excited.
Let's get into it. Let's do it.
Sure.
All right. So Welcome to New York, I think is kind of obvious.
Ooh, is it?
You know, I had two different answers for this.
I also have two different answers.
Being Rory and Lorelai's graduation day in season 2. When she arrives on the scene in New York,
literally
she leaves. And she skips school. She takes the bus. She goes to New York. Welcome to New York. It's been waiting for you. Because it has.
Yeah.
It's been waiting for you to show up. Yeah, and it's sitting in Washington Square Park.
Yeah.
Reading a book.
New York is reading a book.
Yes. But I also, put Rory in A Year in the Life. I could totally hear this kind of behind her. She like walks into her interview with her lucky dress, the whole bit. But yeah, I don't know. New York and Gilmore Girls don't really they intersect in a lot of ways. There's the trip that Lorelai takes to New York with Suki and Jackson and Alex to go see the Broadway show, that musical that they hate.
Yeah.
Levittown. And it's referenced, of course, because Luke goes to New York to go see Jess and stuff. But I don't know. There's not a lot of Concert Interruptus, of course.
Yeah.
There are some moments, but when I think of Welcome to New York, Gilmore Girls is not really the first thing that comes to mind.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. See, I took this one Because I listened to that song, and as I like got to New York when I came to the live show, and I had never felt more disconnected from it, because I think that sometimes New York doesn't have to be New York in this song. I think it can be just like a place, like when we first dropped our bags on apartment floors, put our broken hearts, put them in a drawer, and like you can kind of be yourself. I put Lane to this one because like when she moved out of the house and like moved into her own apartment, I kind of felt like this moment's been waiting for you. And like that's kind of why I was really disappointed with her storyline. Not why, so many reasons, is because it felt like she was like entering that like welcome to New York, it's been waiting for you kind of feeling.
Totally.
And I also applied it to Lorelai when she starts Hollow, and she can kind of like have her own life, and she escaped her parents, and it's just the took our broken hearts, put them in a drawer line that I was like, it doesn't have to be New York, because when I got back home to Georgia, I turned that song on and it felt more real here, because it kind of feels like I feel like I'm home in this place.
Yeah, like, welcome home, welcome to freedom, welcome to like new experiences. Yeah, I could totally
welcome
see
to
that.
where you're meant to be. It's kind of what it feels like.
Interesting.
So that's why I gave those two to them.
I love that. I also feel like it could be like a kind of an anthem behind Jess and Rory meeting, like Jess being this representation of freedom. Obviously, he comes from New York.
Yeah.
Like,
welcome to Jess.
Yes, exactly.
He's been waiting for you.
I love it. So next we have Blank Space, which for me is like Rory and Logan coded season 5.
Oh, Logan.
Like, this feels like stringless fun Rory. When she's just like, I don't want what I've had in the past. I've got a blank space, baby, and I'm going to write your name in it.
Yeah. Well, I've got a blank space, baby, and I'll write your name. It's like, don't put my number. Don't put my number. Okay, put my number.
Put my number.
Like,
1000%.
Are you joking?
Yeah.
Also, like the grab your passport in my hand. I'm like, that's Logan. Say less.
I love it.
The other thing that this is the one that I hadn't thought about, but one of our listeners put was, this is Lorelai singing this song to Emily. Because like this is how Emily sees Lorelai's love life, of like just like the string of men that she just like goes through, and really like that's not the case, and she doesn't see that until I guess it's Haunted Leg.
Yeah.
Interesting. So that was the one I was like, I hadn't thought about that before. That is kind of true.
I didn't think about that either.
Yeah.
Love that.
Kind of like why she wrote that song. It's kind of like the feeling that Lorelai has towards Emily.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So for style, I could probably make an argument for Rory and all of her partners.
Me
with
too.
This one. Like for Dean, I could see it being like a Dean, Rory, Lindsay situation. Like, what you heard is true, but I can't stop thinking about you and I. Like,
yeah.
Like, she's heard that you're with another girl, and he says, yeah, that's totally true, but I can't stop thinking about you.
Yeah.
And like everything with like Long Drive and like the crashing, that's totally Jess coded. Like, I could also see it kind of being like the Logan jealousy era, where like he is at the party in Pulp Friction and sees her, and he's with another girl, but he can't stop thinking about her. Like, they never go out of style. And I feel like all three of these men in her life, like, we never go out of style.
Yeah.
She's always kind of coming back around. Or
I feel like it applied the most to Logan and Rory, because they are the ones that always keep getting back together. Like, they're like, it's kind of messy, but like they are the ones that always come back to each other. But like Jess is like so like James Dean Daydream. Like,
yes.
How could we not?
Completely.
And someone said Emily and Richard, and I was like, they do never go out of style.
That's true.
But I wouldn't say, I mean, like, it's like Penn and Lot, like, what you heard is true, but I'm married to you. So, like, I don't know. I was like, I could see it, but also no, because this feels like Rory and, like, all of her men. I would say it's, like, Logan, Jess, Dean is, like, my ranking of them, but it's all of them.
Totally. 100%. Yeah. For Out of the Woods, for me, it's so, like, especially that bridge is so Jess and Rory and Teach Me Tonight.
Yes.
Remember when you hit the brakes too soon? 20 stitches,
20
in,
stitches
the
in the hospital room.
Like,
of course. On. It's Jess Mariano.
Yeah.
Like, when you started crying, baby, I did too. When the sun came up, I was looking at Luke.
I was going to say, looking at Luke from the bridge. Smoking a cigarette.
Exactly.
Love it.
I made sure she was okay.
Yeah. Oh, I made sure she was okay. I know you did. Oh,
yeah, what a good one. And like, yeah, it just also feels like that's kind of them in Rory in season 3 when she's kind of doubting him a little bit and he's not showing up, and then he does show up and she was waiting for him and she doesn't want to be that girl who's sitting around waiting for her boyfriend. And he leaves. So
we'll get there later.
Yeah.
Well, we'll get there now. All you had to do was stay.
This is what really birthed this episode.
Yeah, Jess and
This was
Rory.
the origin. Yeah.
Fully. All you had to do was stay. Had me in the palm of your hand. Why'd you have to go and lock me out when I let you in?
I let you in.
Now you say you want it back. Now that it's just too late. It could have been easy. All you had to do was stay.
That's Jess.
That's Jess and Rory.
That's Jess and Rory. That's season 3, end of season 4. I will say it was also a little bit Luke and Lorelai. But like
in what
less
way?
So. Lorelai could have just stayed.
Yeah, I could see that.
Partings is kind of the
of course,
moment.
Yeah. It's just so Jess and Rory coded.
It's just so Jess and Rory because literally all he had to do was stay because he left and he could have just stayed.
It's true. He genuinely could have. Things would have been so different.
Yeah.
All right, Shake It Off. This is the one that I'm just like, who the fuck is singing this song in Stars
Paris.
Hollow? Paris?
Yeah, Shake It Off. Like, haters gonna hate. Like, of course.
Paris is so bad at shaking things off. That girl can't shake shit off for nothing.
I feel like she can.
Like, yeah, the haters are gonna hate, but I don't know. She's so bad at shaking things off. She holds a grudge.
That's fair. I just, that's why I put it. I just felt like the haters gonna hate. I'm just gonna shake it off.
All right.
Haters are gonna hate that I'm with an older man.
Okay, that's true. Rather. Maybe in her college years, I could see that.
Yeah, it's more
high
like
school years. I'm thinking kind of like, no, you don't know how to shake anything off.
It's more of like it never hits her and shaking it off.
Okay,
she's shaking too fast that it never lands on her.
I could see that.
I think that's what it's kind of like. Is like it's more of just like this doesn't bother me. I'm just gonna shake it off.
Okay.
But like, she's not necessarily shaking.
She definitely isn't. If there's one thing Paris Geller doesn't do, it's shake.
It's shake. But it's more
it's
of
shake,
just
rattle,
like,
and roll.
She's unbothered. I'm just going to be unbothered. If you could put that to the lyric, the beat of Shake It Off.
Okay.
Unbothered.
Yeah, I could buy that. I'll buy into that.
It's loose, but
it's definitely it's loose. It's a loose Paris Geller, but you know, it's there. I Wish You Would. For me, feels very like, is this Rory Logan season 6 post Philly? Like she kisses Jess. I wish you would come back. Wish I never hung up the phone like I did. Like I'm sorry that I brushed you off, kind of a thing. Like, come back. I miss you. I miss my person. I'm sorry I was mad.
I'm sorry
I miss you too much to be mad anymore.
Yeah.
You know?
I feel like I Wish You Would, the like wish I never hung up the phone like I did. I saw that as a little bit Jess when Rory calls him.
Of course.
After graduation.
Of course.
Miss you too much to be mad anymore. He wasn't really mad.
He wasn't really mad though. Well,
yeah.
I guess he was mad at the end of Keg Max.
Yeah. So I feel like it's a little bit of could be a both of them.
Yeah, totally.
Because I feel like it could be a little bit Lorelai and Chris, like because they always come back around again. They could be style too, even though they have definitely never been in style. They oftentimes go out of style, more like a trend comes back around, and it's kind of ugly 5 years from now.
Totally.
But it was cute 5 years ago.
Sure.
So maybe style's not quite the right term for them.
Yeah, I got you.
But a little bit I Wish You Would.
Yeah, I could see that. For Bad Blood, I mean, that's Paris Eustace Geller's anthem.
Rory and Paris and Chilton. That's just totally them.
That's it. Like, every time she walks down the hallway with Madeline Louise flanking her, like, all I want to hear is just play
The
Bad
only
Blood.
caveat I have to that is Lorelai and Rory in season 6 because of the line, it used to be mad love. But now look what you've done. We've got bad blood. So
well, like the era that I wrote this down for with Paris and Rory was season 3 when Francie like kind of comes in and ruffles all the feathers of their friendship.
And she called her best friend.
Yes.
Can't believe I ever considered you my best friend. And then Rory goes home and she's like, she thought I was her best friend. And I'm like, shut up. That was a compliment.
That's so
Why do you say
mean.
that's so rude?
I know.
Yeah, but it's definitely them. And the one that made me laugh so hard was that someone submitted for this one is the fandom with Rory at various points throughout the show.
Also that.
Someone said that, and then someone else said when Rory cuts her hair.
When she cut her hair, she cut her brain.
My favorite thing about that episode is that someone like who was listening on audio said that they came to watch the video just to see you laughing at that. When she cut her hair, she cut her brain.
It was a sight to see. That was the only thing I thought of when I heard the first two lines of Shake It Off. Like, got nothing in my brain. I was like, when she cut her hair, she cut her brain.
Well, she didn't cut her whole brain. She just trimmed it. A brain trim. Yeah, I feel like I've gotten a brain trim recently.
Honestly, same. All right, what did you put for Wildest Dreams?
I put Rory and Logan just because of You Jump, I Jump Jack.
Yeah, I could see that.
Like, you'll remember me standing in a nice dress.
Staring at the sunset.
Staring at a scaffolding.
Yeah. Yeah, I wasn't sure. I put Jess and Rory ? Logan and Rory ? Like, I wasn't sure. You know, like, kind of preserving this moment is the tone of the song. Like, Say You'll Remember Me in this really beautiful moment, which I think could be Rory and any of her boyfriends, especially because they all enter into their relationships in like an arguably naive time in all of their lives at different points, right?
Yeah. It's a little bit not Luke and Chris, Lorelai and Chris, because like it kind of feels like when they like end things, it really feels like she wants to just like live in that like sort of memory of just like just remember me in your wildest dreams, standing in a nice dress. Like,
yeah, totally.
Because like that's very Gilmore's of them to not want anyone to think badly about them.
Yes.
So I think that is why that song feels so them, because it's like, don't think of me poorly. Remember me when I was at my most beautiful, in the most beautiful light possible. Like, only think of me in good terms. And remember me like that. That's so Lorelai Gilmore's.
That is very true. Very, very true. How You Get the Girl. That is Jess Mariano fan fiction, but that is
really?
Dave Rogalski. That is Dave Rogalski all day, because he actually does it. But I feel like that's Jess Mariano fan fiction. Like, this is what you could have done. This is how you could have gotten the girl.
See, I think that this is Logan with the coffee cart when she says, open up the door and say, are you insane? Say it's been a long 6 months and you were too afraid to tell me what you want. And that's how it works. That's how you get the girl.
That's
how it works. That's how you get the
yeah, sing it.
There's a lot of singing in this episode.
I feel like Dave Rogalski showed up every time, which is kind of what I put this song to, because I think that Lane was just so overwhelmed by the fact that like
a boy liked her this much to do that.
Yeah. But the first thing I wrote down was Jess Mariano fan fiction, because it's like, this is what we all wanted from you.
This is what you could have done. All you had to do was stay, but if not, here's how you get the girl.
Exactly.
And that's how.
But I totally get down with the Logan.
Yeah, it just like opens up and it
making
just
up for lost time.
Yeah, that's kind of what it feels like. Like the core of the song feels like it's like a second chance. It's like happening again. And it's like you lost the girl, and this is how you get the girl. So
yeah,
I feel like it can go any direction.
Yeah,
totally. Blank space.
Literally blank space. For This Love, I put Dean and Rory.
Oh my gosh, I unfortunately put them too.
Yeah, unfortunately.
But I also put Paris and Doyle because I didn't want to put Dean and Rory because like they kind of break up for a second.
Yeah.
These hands had to let it go free, but this love came back to me. But I did put Dean and Rory.
Unfortunately, I did too.
Yeah, but season 1.
Yeah. I could make an argument
because
this
love is
5.
good. This love is bad.
Well, yeah, that's why
alive back from the dead.
But that's why I put it for season 4/5 because this love is good. This love is bad.
Yeah, that's why I put it for 1.
Yeah. An argument can be made for
every
both.
iteration is just true.
So real. I Know Places. I put Rory and Logan.
Okay,
feels very adventurous. Feels very like. Come away with me. Like, I know places we could hide. I don't know. What'd you put?
I put Lane and Dave /Hep Alien. Because I felt they like, if anyone in the show was like hunters and foxes, it's Mrs. Kim and Lane. Like she would find her. And so it's like kind of feels like when they're rehearsing at Sophie's music shop, trying not to play too loud, they end up at Lorelei's, and it kind of feels like I know places we could figure this out.
Yeah.
And same with Lane and Dave. It's like, even if they're hiding in plain sight, like at Thanksgiving, I feel like it kind of works for them because
I love that.
Mrs. Kim is always kind of the one that's trying to suss things out, but it ends up working out for them.
I love that.
That was like my first thought. I thought about a lot of these when I was in the bathtub, just
bathtub
Candle.
thoughts are
1989 playing. This one came on and I was like, hep, Alien.
Yes. No, I love that. Because I was like, all I was thinking of when Taylor does the, and we run, I was thinking of just them running through the streets of Stars Hollow.
In the revival?
Yeah. Yeah.
The
Not
other
necessarily
part of me,
situational. It's just like what I saw happening.
No, because like I think that's the thing is like some of them like don't apply like as a whole, but can apply to like a particular scene.
Totally.
And I feel like that one totally fits there. It also is just like feels so revival because when Logan's like, I'll get you a room at the Savoy, and she's like, I have to stay in a hotel. And it's like, I know places we can hide.
Yeah, exactly.
5-star hotels.
Yeah, so true. For clean, what'd you put?
This one was so hard for me.
Me too.
Because I don't think the Gilmore Girls have ever gotten over anything in their life.
Yeah.
I don't think the rain has ever poured down on them and then they felt clean.
Well, what I wrote down with a bunch of question marks next to it was Rory and Jess, because we never see her really grieve that loss.
Yeah, I think that's the thing is like part of what's hard about relating Rory to a lot of these is because she doesn't have that like strong emotional depth to her. So it's like hard to like suss it out if she felt like Jess was like washed away from her. Because when he came back, she kissed him. So she wasn't that clean. She's like a quick rinse, I guess.
Well, I'm thinking more season 3, because by the end of season 4, when he does come back and he says, I love you, she doesn't really react.
Yeah. She says no.
Yeah, and she says no to running away with him. So it's very much just like, no, I'm done. I'm done with you.
Yeah.
So like,
she's
that's
kind of
more
done.
That's more of the era that I put that in. But
yeah, because I think
this
that's
was a tough
true.
one.
Yeah, but I just genuinely don't think the Gilmore Girls really get over things, and so I think that's kind of what this song feels like. It's like moving through something.
Yeah.
I don't really think they do that very well. But I can see that. I could see like season 3 to season 4 for Rory with Jess.
Yeah.
Because I was like, but she wasn't, because he comes back and kiss.
Yeah. Kiss.
Someone in our Instagram, one of our besties, said this was Chris and Lorelai finally ending.
Oh, yeah. I could see that too in season 7. Yeah.
Yeah. And I was like, I get it. That one was the only one that like really felt like it made sense to me.
Yeah, I could totally see that. Yeah. I buy into that.
Yeah.
The next
too.
one's also hard for me too, Wonderland.
Jess and Rory.
Jess and Rory?
Yeah, from beginning to end. It just felt like there were strangers watching and whispers turned to talking, like that sort of thing. And like you searched the world for something else to make it feel like what we had, but in the end in Wonderland, we both went mad because like, and they're like at the end of the revival, it's like neither of them seem to have exactly what they want.
Yeah, that's true.
But I kind of felt like that was the two of them because like their whole relationship kind of felt like Jess in this like Wonderland type place where he like has no idea where he is. Like he feels like he just dropped down a rabbit hole and ended up there, but found Rory there. And so it was like this weird, wonderful thing in this weird, horrible place. And everyone was watching them. And then it just never worked out for the two of them.
Yeah. Yeah. I could totally see that.
Yeah. I love that song so much.
It's a good song. You Are in Love.
Oh, God. This song is so Luke and Lorelai when they're standing in the street in season 5 in
season
the snow.
5. Yes. This
like
is
you're
Luke and
standing in a
Lorelai.
snow
I
globe.
put exclamation points, season 5, exclamation points. It's like the shirt lyric of like being in his shirt and he turns to you and he's like, you're my best friend. Like, all of it.
One night he wakes, strange look on his face, pauses and says, you're my best friend.
Yeah.
And you knew what it was. He's in love. I feel like Luke has never said that to her. But
no,
I would love
but I
for
could
him
see
to.
it.
I could totally see it.
But that's the reality. They're best friends.
Yeah. You know who I also put for this? I put two other couples. I put Emily and Richard and Suki. But most importantly, I felt like this one fit the most for Suki and Jackson.
Yeah, that's so true. I could see that as well.
Like burnt toast Sunday. Like I was like, Jackson's trying to make her breakfast. Oh, I just feel like that's the two of them.
That's cute. Yeah, no, Luke and Lorelai were the first two that I thought of. Just absolutely loved. New Romantics is Life and Death Brigade Logan.
Yeah.
Ace.
I can totally see that. Yeah. Can't see my face, but I'm about to play my ace.
Ooh.
Please.
I know.
I also put just like the Gilmore Girls in general, because I feel like Heartbreak is the national anthem. We sing it proudly. Like those two love to break their hearts.
Totally. I could totally see that. All right, let's get into the vault tracks.
Ooh, these are my faves.
5 vault tracks.
Yes.
So for Slut, which I agree with you was not the song I thought it was going to be.
It was not the song I thought it was going to be. I thought it was going to be like Cruel Summer, Barbie movie, like Big Bop, where like dancing and singing.
Yeah.
And then it ended up being kind of like a love song. Yeah. And so like I had to take a break from it at first because I listened to it and I was like, wait, where's the jam? I can't stand up and I got to dance really slow to this.
Yeah, to a song called Slut!
I thought it was going to be strutting to Slut in the grocery store, you know? Like, I thought that was the bop we were looking for. But
fully.
When I gave it some time, I was like, oh, okay, I like it. When I let it be the song that it was rather than the song I expected it to be, it grew on me.
I can see that.
Yeah.
So I put Rory and Logan in A Year in the Life.
Of course. Or I put Rory and Logan like Wedding Bell Blues.
Oh, interesting.
Like, Stringless Fun.
Yeah, I could see that as well. But I think as I was listening to the song, it felt very much just like, yeah, they're going to talk about me. And I at first thought about Wedding Bell Blues, but then I was like, well, what about when you're, I don't know, sleeping with him and he's a full-blown fiance?
When you're doing something a little more slutty.
Yeah, because, you know, I could, of course, make an argument for that era where, again, Stringless Fun. Yeah. But like, yeah, I don't know. I saw this being very much the era of which she is sleeping with a soon-to-be married man.
Yeah, like the actual application. I think that I did the season 5 one because it feels like more of like, there's no like real commitment to this, but it's like if I'm all dressed up, it might be worth it just to, because like she's wearing a suit, he's wearing a suit. Yeah, might be worth it for once, because it wasn't worth it before when the first time I slept with a married man.
Correct.
But it might be worth it for once to do this here.
Yeah.
But I feel like it has to be Rory and Logan because like totally. It just has this like opulent sort of like luxurious feel to it that like really only Logan can provide to the storyline.
Yeah. Say Don't Go is hard for me because
this is Logan Huntsberger's anthem.
Well, yeah. It's a Logan Rory in partings.
Yeah. Say Don't Go. Say Don't Go.
But I felt like the chorus and a lot of it, like I've seen a lot of edits to this song on TikTok.
Oh my gosh, I love that for you. Who is
Rory
it?
And Jess.
Yeah.
So like end of season 3 into season 4.
Yeah. So, well, season 4. Like I feel like honestly, all of the boys have a Say Don't Go moment with Rory Gilmore.
Oh, of course.
Partings, end of season 4 for Jess.
Yeah.
Party's over for Dean.
Yeah. No, you're right.
You're right. They have a Say Don't Go.
You're
and
totally
Rory does
right.
not say Don't Go. She says nothing really. I guess for Jess, she told him to go. Dean, she kind of just alluded to it. And Logan, she straight up said, I can't do that.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Yeah, everyone gets a little, everyone never goes out of style, but also nobody gets told to stay.
Yeah. Even though all you had to do was stay.
Yeah.
But yeah, my first instinct, of course, was Rory and Logan partings.
Yeah. Interesting. All you had to do was stay, but she did not. But she told him to go.
Correct.
Well, the first time
I was going to say
left on his own.
She told him to go after he had already left.
Because the first time all he had to do was stay. Yes, you're right. But I also feel like partings in general, because I felt like Lorelai was asking Luke, like,
of course,
to not go.
Yeah.
But that was also mismanaged by the both of them very terribly. Whereas Logan literally said, tell me not to go. Say don't go. And she said, well, I can't do that. And so he went.
Yeah, you can make the argument for Lorelai as well, because she was giving Luke such a deep ultimatum, and he was like, I can't just run away with you. She was saying, let's go.
Yeah.
And he was saying, I can't.
Yeah.
So then she said, then I have to go.
Yeah.
Say don't go.
Say don't go, but then I have to go. Which is like what Lorelai, not her last line, but Lorelai and Logan's last line is, I have to go. And partings, and they both have that little line before they leave. I have to go. And it's just like, oh, it's so heartbreaking. But yeah, that's their song.
Yeah.
Lorelai and Logan skipping down the street, holding hands, that song.
Holding hands and skipping afterwards. Yeah. All right. Now that we don't talk, also such a bop. What did you put for this one?
Okay, first of all, this is my favorite vault song. I have to say that. This one is like, Now That We Don't Talk is like the Welcome to New York of New York for me now.
I really love this song. Now That We Don't Talk, like, as soon as it started playing, I like knew every lyric.
Yeah, it's like, now that we don't talk.
Yeah,
like,
it's
I love anytime Taylor brings up her mom. Like, like I'm always into that. But I preface that because I feel like this is a little bit Dean. Because when she says, I don't have to pretend I like acid rock or that I want to be on a mega yacht or talk to like men who think important thoughts or be with men who think important thoughts, maybe I'm better off. And I kind of feel like that's a little bit Dean. Like, party's over a little bit. Like, he doesn't have to. I mean, not that he wasn't interested in the things that Rory was interested in, but it was almost like he doesn't have to care about like literature now. He doesn't have to read her articles. Like, he doesn't have to pretend like these are things that he was interested in. Yeah. Because he genuinely wasn't. And like, there's like no hard feelings to Dean for that. Like, he made an effort for the most part in the early seasons. Yeah. By season 5, he'd kind of given up. But like, I just genuinely don't think that he was interested in the things that she was and found things that she found to be important. And as much as he might have loved her, it wasn't right. And I feel like that's kind of Dean a little bit.
That's Dean, for sure. You may not like this answer, but it kind of reminded me of the dark times after Let Me Hear Your Bell Like is ringing out when Rory and Logan part ways and before, what is it, Just Like Gwen and Gavin, when they get back together?
Yeah.
Or not when they get back together, but when he tries to reconcile with her.
The perfect dress.
Yeah, because I feel like she kind of comes back into herself during that period of time, right?
Yeah.
She comes home to her mom. And the thing is that I don't want to necessarily say that she didn't enjoy doing the things that she did with Logan, but it's like, I don't have to pretend to like your family right now.
Yeah.
I don't have to pretend to be fine with the fact that we're always going out drinking and partying with you and Colin and Finn. You know, like,
yeah,
I'm good.
Like, what do you tell your friends we spent long weekends dinners with? The truth is, I can't pretend. It's platonic. It just ended. The only, like, disagreeing that I have, how do you say that? The only reason I would disagree, there we go, that's English, is because there is an admission in the song that it's over.
Which it is not.
She does not like to admit to that.
Yes.
Maybe after, like, honor calls and... she, you know, maybe she can like vibe into it from that point, like that she's better off without him.
Yeah.
Yes. Because she kind of gets to that point.
Yeah.
I just love that song so much. I love the familiarity to it of like knowing someone so well that it's like, but it's like better that you don't talk. We all have someone like that.
Oh, totally. We all do. I mean,
not just Dean.
I think you could also make the argument. I don't know. I don't know the song as well as I know all the other ones, but you might be able to make the argument for the end of season 4 with Jess and Rory. Very much on the outs.
Yeah. The only reason I was just like, nothing ever comes from that.
Yeah.
There's no like emotional fallout or like.
Yeah, just kind of there. So for Suburban Legends, I have Tristan and Paris.
Ooh, interesting. That some of our besties and their answers, they also said that.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And for Now That We Don't Talk, it ran the full gambit of like everyone was included.
Okay, I'm sure.
Because at some point everyone was not talking to someone.
Of course.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, some people said that.
That was like the first thing I thought of, just envisioning her like kind of having these visions of walking into her high school reunion with Tristan on her arm.
Yeah.
And not reducing him down to like just entries in her diary. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it just felt like big Paris and Tristan vibes.
Yeah. No, I can totally see that. Like that our mismatched star signs would like surprise the whole school.
Yeah.
I don't know why so many of these vault songs, because like I feel like the core album feels a lot like Logan, and a lot of these vault songs feel like Dean to me. Like, because it's like I'm standing in a 1950s gymnasium and I can still hear it now, or I can still see it now. Like, I didn't come here to make friends. Like, I kind of feel like that's a little bit, like, especially at the end of like, I raced down your block, you don't knock anymore, and I always knew it. I kind of feel like maybe he always knew that Rory was not going to be a suburban legend and she was going to leave this town kind of vibes.
I could totally see that.
Yeah.
Could totally see that.
Also Lane a little bit because she gets stuck there.
Yeah.
But also Rory about Jess, like the end of it.
Yeah.
It's like kind of feels like our mismatched star signs, like star-crossed lovers. It kind of feels like that he wasn't going to stay there either.
Yeah.
And she knew that. And so she raced down his block, broke. But this is where it's Dean, is I broke my own heart because you were too polite to do it.
Yes.
That's like standing in a 1950s gymnasium. Like,
I mean, so true.
Come on.
I broke my own heart because you were too polite to do it is so Rory Dean.
Yeah.
That's so they shoot Gilmores, don't they?
Yeah. It really
totally
is. Because I know, like, I really love that song. Like, but when she says I'm standing in a 1950s gymnasium, that is like the only part of that I don't understand. Because every time she says it, I'm like, why? How'd you get there?
I guess I took it as like this building was built in the 50s kind of a thing.
Yeah,
not like I'm in the 1950s gymnasium.
Yeah, okay, that's true.
Yeah, I took it as like it was built in the 1950s.
I was coming from Timeless, from like the Speak Now vault, where it's kind of not time traveling, but it's kind of like moving through various like periods of time. And that's what I couldn't get that out of my head, but that makes sense because it's more of like in a lot of the suburbs, the schools have been there since the 1950s.
Totally.
And it's like you're at prom.
Yeah.
In modern day in this gymnasium that was built. Then okay, we got there.
We got there. Yeah.
Because every time I listen to that, I'm like, time travel.
Yeah. At first when I heard the song, I felt the same way. But then I was like, oh, no, she means like standing in a gym that was built in the 1950s.
Yeah.
But there is something so poetic relating it back to They Shoot Gilmores, Don't They? I know it's the 40s, but like just given the way they're all dressed.
Yeah.
Kind of.
It's a different time period.
Totally.
See, that is why I related it to Dean. I was like, they literally time travel. Like they do a period moment.
I love it.
I love that song. Okay.
No, but
I love it more now.
Very
that I
Dean and Rory. I
line.
could totally see that.
Yeah.
Totally.
So many of these songs are Dean.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, look, they're very, before we get on to the last one, like this album is very Rory, like Rory and her partners, because I saw a lot of these as Rory and Jess. But I think there's an argument for Rory and a lot of the guys that she dates. It's a little like there are Lorelai moments. There are moments that exist outside of the Gilmore Girls and their relationships. But like for the most part, it's a Rory Gilmore album for me.
Yeah. Because a lot of people have said this is Lorelai's album, but Lorelai's album is totally Midnight's. Like that's her to a T.
Interesting.
It's like a different vibe for every song. But I think that with 1989, there's like so many like big bops that like whatever team you identify with, I feel like you can like fit them in. Like with style, they never got a style. You're going to pick Logan if you love Logan, and you're going to pick Jess if you love Jess, because it's like they're never going to go out of style. The only one that you can't argue with us on is All You Had to Do Was Stay, because that,
I mean, that's
Jess
Mariano, period.
Yeah.
No notes.
That
no
was written about it. She told us, she called us. We talked to Taylor.
No, we did not, because Haley would not be here.
I would have passed away.
Haley would have passed away.
This would have been terrifying.
I was going to say this would be your funeral. This would be the eulogy.
But I would be here in my Taylor Swift sweatshirt.
That's true. Just passed out.
Yeah. Haley's unconscious, but she'll be with us soon.
Oh my God. Okay, but is it over now?
Not yet. We still have one more to do.
Yes, we do. And it's called Is It Over Now? Not yet, Tara. You can't leave yet. I put Logan and Rory.
Yeah. This is, I feel like, a back and forth between Rory and Logan in the revival.
Fully.
Like I think that people heard 300 takeout coffees later and they're like, Rory. But I think in 9 years, Rory and Logan would have had a lot more than 300 takeout coffees. I think in a month.
I was going to say, I have 300 a year easy.
Yeah, that's like less than one every day.
Yeah.
Oh, I just remembered my coffee's in the refrigerator. I went to the doctor this morning and I made coffee before I left. I was like, oh, I'll drink it when I get home. And I didn't. Oh, okay. Anyways, back to this. Is it over now? That coffee's over now. But it's totally them, especially when they say, I dream about jumping off of very tall somethings just to see you come running. That is totally Logan laying in bed in the revival, thinking about the fact that in season 6, he jumped off a cliff when they were like in a bad place and Rory came running, sprinting to him in the hospital just to hear the one thing I've been wanting. But no, because he just wants her to say, don't go.
Correct.
Yeah, that's him. Like, I dream about jumping off of very tall somethings. Like, there's no way that you cannot relate that to Rory and Logan. Because you can even relate it back to You Jump, I Jump, Jack.
I was about to say, that's what I think of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's like, they're both sleeping with other people during the revival. And I just feel like it's just back and forth between the two of them. Especially because, like, was it over then and is it over now? Was it over with the bridesmaids when we broke up the first time? Is it over now? Because it kind of is, because I'm engaged and you have a boyfriend and you're sleeping with a Star Wars character. I'm about to say Star Trek, but it is Star Wars. I remember it in the nick of time.
Yes.
But was it over then and is it over now?
I know.
That's the question. We can't answer
the
it.
question.
It should be. It wasn't, and now it should be.
Exactly. But yeah, that's what I put as well. It just felt like it was screaming Logan and Rory.
Yeah. I made a TikTok about it yesterday. That it just feels so Logan.
I loved it. You just
thank you.
Killed me.
The hand straight up.
Hand up. It was great. I was like, she's so into this. I love this for her.
That's like literally how I listen to the song though. Cause like I have to say, like, for the last however long since this album's come out, like I guess like 3 weeks, literally it's only the vault tracks. And Fast Car.
Yeah. I mean, these are great vault tracks.
Yeah. They're my faves.
They're really, really good. I like them a lot. And I like this album a lot. I love this album. Yeah. It's, again, like so nostalgic for me to relate it back. I loved relating Folklore and Evermore back to the show because that, to me, just felt
Gilmore.
So perfect. Gilmore, Folklore, Evermore. Folklore, Gilmore, Evermore. No. Folklore, Evermore, Gilmore.
You got it. There we go.
And then 1989. I'm curious why people think this is so Lorelai coded because for me, it's a Rory album.
Just like, there's like all of the emotions here. I feel like they're like up and down.
Yeah.
I think that maybe it's just kind of like because it's full of bops and Lorelai is a bit of a bop herself, is she not?
Oh, 1,000%. Like energy wise, I could understand why people would find it to air more on the Lorelai side of things because she is that exciting. Like just the tone of the album is very exciting, and that is who Lorelai is. She's very wild and eccentric, and she's a bop and shake. I could totally see her as a character dancing to Shake It Off, but like. The lyrics and the stories that are behind these songs are very Rory coded.
Yeah, I think so too. Like I said before, like I feel like if whatever Rory relationship you identify with, I feel like you can fill it in to wherever you go. Oddly, I had a lot of Dean answers though, and I don't identify with Dean. It's just like some of them made so much sense for it to be him. Yeah. But there's a little bit of Lane. The only caveat I will make to Slut is Dave Rogowski, simply because there's a line that says, "In a world of boys, he's a gentleman."
He's a gentleman.
So a lot of people said just this part, not the other parts.
Yeah. I could totally see that.
But I could see Lane being like, got love struck.
Yeah, no, there are a lot of arguments that you could make for a lot of these songs. And like lines that I could just take out and place on a character, relationship, and episode. Like so many. I tried to do these like all encompassing as a whole. Yeah. But yeah, there are a lot of like different, it's like very nuanced.
Yeah, there's so many like lines that you could pick out and just like apply it to one character, but like take it out of the whole song, because like Slut is not about Dave Rogowski under any circumstances.
No.
But like there's little bits of it that make sense, because in a world of boys, that, my friends, is a gentleman.
Is a gentleman.
Yeah. But a lot of people, my favorite, have been sending me edits of Logan to that song. In a world of boys, he's a gentleman. And I'm like, stop. But like, keep doing it. Please continue.
Stop, but don't.
But don't, because I absolutely love it.
I know. Well, that was your birthday episode, Haley.
That's, thank you. I loved it. Did I blow out my candles?
Nice.
That was
me.
done.
What are you actually doing for your birthday this year?
Kind of nothing, which is kind of what I wanted. Because the last 2 years I went to Disney World. This was obviously recorded before my birthday, so I don't really know exactly what we're going to do. But my only specifications was that I wanted to go to the bookstore, obviously. And I wanted a vegan cake, which I found one, or rather Mandy found one. I posted on my Instagram the cake that I wanted. And she found one at a vegan bakery that's dairy free. So I'm very excited about that. And that was it. That was like my only real requests.
I love that.
Kind of just want to have a chill 31st birthday, you know?
31 is such an interesting age.
Yeah. Well, you never had a 31st
Entering
birthday.
the home stretch of this one, I'm feeling like 31's an interesting age.
No, you went to 30, and then you had a second 30th birthday.
I had a 30th again. Yeah, you're right. And now I'm just moving on to 32.
Last year, our birthday episodes were together, because our together birthday is December 6th, which is the middle point of our birthdays. And it was on a Tuesday last year, so we did it together. And we were both 30, because you got to be 30 a second time.
It was great.
You've never actually
Being 30
been
again
31.
was really nice, because I will say every time someone asked me this year how old I was, like I had trained myself to be like, I'm 30.
That's close enough.
I know 31
is just
point,
you've collected enough years that like people get it.
Yeah, I said I'm 30. Or I instantly thought I was 32. It's so weird. Like I sit somewhere in the middle, which is 31.
Just such an odd age to be. But I like it. I like it a lot.
I totally get down with like the early 30s.
Yeah, especially because I have a lot of friends lately that have been like they're like 25 and they're like starting to feel like a panic about it. And I remember feeling that way. But like, I don't know if it's like getting older, but like being in your 30s is the absolute best, because it just feels like all of like the things that you wanted in your teens and your 20s are there for you without the like, I don't know, the pressure of it. I can't even describe it. It feels like being a teenager again, admittedly.
Yeah. But in a way better way.
And like a really like well-adjusted way. And maybe that's my, my antidepressants and my therapist. That probably plays a large role in it as well.
Yeah.
But I just feel like there's just such like it feels like low pressure teens. It feels like you go from being a teenager to being 20 to like your 20s to being like a teenager again. But like, there's no pressure.
Well, I think that being in your 30s is really about embracing what you love. I think that when you're a teenager, obviously you're figuring yourself out. But when you're in your 20s, you're figuring yourself out in such a drastically different way, where you're almost like a chameleon. Like you're trying to like fit in anywhere and everywhere that you can. And you're also like, I'm an adult.
Yeah.
And when you're in your 30s, like you're already an adult. You just spent the last 10 years basically being an adult. And you're like, well,
not really.
Yeah. But you're also like, I wasn't. But now I'm in my 30s and I feel like an adult, but an adult who knows what they like and is going to stand in what I like and lean into that in the same way that I did when I was a teenager.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I mean by that. Yeah. Because I feel like in my 20s, I felt like I was like trying to find myself and like losing myself. But I think in your 30s, you realize that neither of those are true, and you're just like kind of creating yourself as you go along. And I think that is where the stress like kind of like goes away. It's like there's no you that you need to find and no you that you need to lose. You're just kind of, it's all, you just creating you.
Yeah.
You never done really this before. Nice. There's not a you to find.
Yeah. It's true.
You're not out there. You're right here.
You are.
And that is my 31st
doing a little
birthday.
podcast about something we love. About a few things we love.
About a few things we love. And that's why I love that we got to do Taylor for my birthday.
Me too. What a great idea for an episode.
It's everything I love, which is Taylor Swift, Gilmore Girls. Not books in there, but
Yeah.
we'll have a book episode.
Yeah.
Actually, the day after my birthday, I get to interview Rebecca Ross. So she'll be coming out on...
Perfect.
So yesterday I will have interviewed her, and her episode will come out on Thursday.
I love that.
A book I loved. So that's exciting.
That's
so all three are there.
Yay. Oh, I can't wait. That'll be so much fun.
But our next episode of Gilmore to Say is celebrating Tara's birthday, which is super, super exciting because she is turning 32, which is her Lorelai birthday.
I'm so excited. I'm going to start plotting and planning what I'm doing for my birthday, and we're going to talk about...
You gonna have a 16-year-old?
We'll have more to say on that in the next episode.